Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice.
Yo, Joe!
Matt from our Toy Addictions here with another video. This weekend we visited the ToyCon Toy Show out in Bridgeview, Illinois. Small show, packs a big punch. They got a lot of great vendors in there. They usually do about 12 shows a year. 3 of those weekends they do two show weekends, one in the evening on Saturday and one in the morning on Sunday. Pretty cool place to go. They usually, with the weekend shows where they have 2 shows, they have different vendors both evenings. So could be a little trouble for your wallet, but if you get a chance, check them out. Anyway, it's a great little show. Only $5 to get in, $7 for the early bird, gets you in a half hour early. And trust me, those early birds really show up to this one because there's a couple of vendors in there that bring their heavy hitters every time they pop out, and they're usually gone by the time the general public pops in. But anyway, kids 10 and under, I believe, are free. They do lots of cool stuff for charity. And they do cosplay weekends and stuff too. So anyway, really cool show. We walked all the way around the entire building, and we got to look at pretty much everything that was in there. So here's the ToyCon Toy Show in Bridgeview, Illinois. Let's hit it. All right, in we go. This first guy here he's a regular. He's always in the same spot. He's always got a pretty good splash of everything. A lot of pretty decent Star Wars stuff there. He's got some Power of the Force stuff. I'm really surprised it's not still sitting there. But there's a couple of rarities, stuff I haven't seen for a while. Lots of loosey-goosey stuff for this guy. It's kind of neat, those Lady Death cards. Haven't seen those in a long time. There's some single stuff here. Some Spawn, a little bit of Angela there. I'm not sure exactly what this guy is. Something out of a horror somewhere, I'm thinking. I don't know what that's from. If you got any idea, throw it in the comments below. Yeah, this Bridgeview show is usually their vendors actually swap out quite often. There's a lot of the guys. It's the same people setting up in the same place, but they try to show up with something different or something that's of want for a lot of people. I thought this was really cool. A whole bunch of old X-Men stuff from back in the day. I used to like that Weapon X figure. I thought that was pretty cool. A couple of G.I. Joes. Crazy legs there for you. Not sure what's going on with that spinning globe there, though. I almost grabbed that probe droid. I don't know why. Something about probe droids. Just it's one of those cooler things from the Star Wars universe. I almost snagged it. Here's a whole bunch more single Star Wars stuff. Tusken Raider, Chewbacca. Farm Boy Luke. A little bit faded, but he had his lightsaber, it looks like. Wasn't sure if it was real or not, but a lot of the goodies in there. Vader. And there was some, just some willy-nilly singles in there. Like I said, that guy's usually always got some pretty cool stuff. Here's a fellow that's got some interesting comics, some one-offs. I thought this one was really cool. From it's one of the English weeklies. Right there for 10 pence. Back in the day. Conan. Used to love reading that comic when I was a kid. Didn't get to go through much of those. I'm kind of looking for some Transformers stuff, but this guy's just had a bunch of interesting things here. We'll come back to that thing in the bag with the purple top later on. But he had a few good things sitting there. The lunchbox was really cool. He's got a Wizard of Oz playset down there on the bottom. We'll come back to that too. This guy, he's like the local pop king. He's got lots of uncommons, some good rare ones in there. If you're a big pop collector, Chopper, get to the chopper. Some more interesting stuff down there. Not the biggest pop fan, but there's some interesting ones out there. There's some newer things for this guy's booth. Just throwing some carded Star Wars figures out there and such. Pardon me. But I thought that Vader back there was pretty cool. That those with the prototype jobs that they did. Thought those were pretty neat. I don't know why I almost grabbed that Boba Fett, but it was just kind of smiling at me. But there were a few things in this booth I thought were a little high, but I thought that was a cool set there. I thought that was a really cool set. I'm kind of into the astromech droids stuff too, though, so that would have been more my thing than I guess any of the other guys. But pretty cool bunch of Star Wars stuff there. That Ben Kenobi, quite honestly, I'd never seen that before, so I thought that was pretty cool. Was that Micro Squadron or Galaxy Squadron micro set at? I thought he was asking a bit much for that, but it's when they hard to find at first. That's when people hit them. So this guy, he's another regular here. He's always got a ton of G.I. Joe, a ton of Marvel Legends. The early birds, I think, pop in to actually hit this guy first because he's got a little bit of everything, and he's usually got some rarities in there. I think those actually get picked off pretty quick. But this guy gets his hands on some interesting sets I've never seen before too. Sometimes, but yeah, he's a regular. He's always in the same corner. Good dude. If you ever see that face, buy something from him. He'll treat you right. He's always got a good deal for you.
We're trying to drum up business. We need to build up subscribers so we can start live streaming.
No, this guy'll work with you on a lot of stuff though. Like some of those sets up there. He's got some stuff that's common, but some stuff that's out. But he's also got some things that are just come out of nowhere that they only made very few of, and he's just happens to get his hands on them. And then there's his neighbor, who's this guy's always got something. interesting. He's always got some really cool stuff with especially with the 112 line. They're from the Mezco. I can't remember if this guy's always got a ton of G.I. Joe or not, but yeah, I mean, you look at it and some people just think it's a lot of the same, but if you like that, I didn't see another one of those there. I've only seen one of those ever, so I thought that was a really cool homage to Aliens there. This strong guy in the back there. Yeah, a few of the card figures. The Chewbacca's kind of peeling off. I don't know if that was a problem with those or not, but I should have picked him up. I don't have a Han Solo yet, and the original Star Wars one was getting a little harder to find. But, like these. I thought that was a pretty cool set there. And some of these I'd never seen before either. I'd never seen that Injustice Lobo before. I thought that was pretty cool. I have no idea what's in that egg crate. It didn't look. That has got to be one of the coolest looking Banes I think I've ever seen. Alita Battle Angel. I didn't know that was a thing either. Not sure what line those were from, but... And, I was trying to open this. Mum-Ra with one hand, but the box top wasn't coming off, unfortunately. Alright, moving on. Homage to Ryan Sandberg there. These guys are huge into the wrestling here. Some of those AEW figures are really cool. This guy, I don't know if this was just a one-off piece or if he was actually a pro wrestler at one time. If he was, I had no idea. Had no idea. There's a little bit of everything sitting in there. I was looking to see if Jake the Snake. That guy's got an interesting story, man. You should check it out sometime. Joe Rogan did a really long interview with him. Check it out sometime. It's actually really good. All right, we're getting into the McFarlane DC. I was looking for a different Azrael there, but he didn't happen to have that one. That was a really cool Batman, I thought. That's a really cool Azrael too. One of these days I'm going to pick that one up. Jesus Christ. Some heavy hitter Batmans over there. Of course, I don't know where that Arkham Knight is running that high, but a little bit of Halo there. Some Star Wars 3 3/4. It was actually the first time I'd seen a grunt that was on the new card too. Amazingly, because from what I understand, they're everywhere. So, good God. I thought this was a really cool Fortnite figure, too. I've only seen one of those one time. The Sky Striker. In the box. I wish I'd have kept mine. I sold mine, but I wish I'd have kept them. The other thing I was looking for was one of those Scout Walkers, but the other one, the larger scale. That was, I want to say, a Walmart exclusive at one time. The Rhino. That is such a cool G.I. Joe vehicle. And that one's from Valor vs. Venom. I can't remember the name of that particular vehicle, but I thought that was pretty cool as well. And some of the old new Kenner DC. So I don't know if those are customs or not. They didn't look like the Robo blocks or whatever. I'm assuming they're custom sort of Lego figures or whatever. The Masters of the Universe stuff back there. And there's a bunch of Star Wars. And this guy had some pretty cool Masters stuff up there. I mean, your typical off-the-shelf thing that you can probably still find, actually, if you look hard enough. Predator. These I thought were really neat. I did not know that Hasbro actually released these army building box sets on Pulse. I guess they just pop up from time to time. This is what the guy told me. But yeah, they got all kinds of different troop builders back there. That one I thought was great. I thought that one was really great. And the rebel soldiers from episode 4. Then the Haas soldiers there in front. That is one of the coolest Ghost Riders I think I've ever seen. Some more AEW figures, some turtles. I don't know if that's a rarity or not. I've never seen that before. Donatello as Batman. Now this guy's just got minifigs up the yin yang here. If you're looking for minifigs, boys, he's got them probably hanging there. MODOK. Those I thought were pretty cool too. The Mario figures down there. Guy's got a little everything with the patches and stuff. These are some of the coolest prints. I thought he was asking just a bit much for the prints, but I almost snagged a couple of them. Almost. I like that Predaking up there. That's the one I almost grabbed. Some of them are really, really, really cool, though. Really well done. The big sound wave up there with the G.I. Joe crossover. I thought that was really neat. The Baroness. There's some loose stuff. Some Power Rangers, some wrestlers. A little bit Halo on that on top there. There's a lot of wrestlers, especially a lot of loose wrestlers. That was an interesting Sheamus figure there. Don't know much about some of these wrestling figures. Wasn't the hugest into wrestling in my later life. I was as a kid though, back in the days of like Brutus Beefcake and early Hulk Hogan, and coming up into like Jake the Snake and the Undertaker and stuff like that. And then I kind of just lost track of it. Some Ninja Turtles. I believe this is the newer set, but they're supposed to be exactly like the old Playmates. I think it's amazing how some of these guys can take this minimal amount of space and just put out a really decent display that makes everything easy to see. I remember when I was selling, I had a tough time doing that. I mean, maybe it's because I had too much crap. I don't know. It's almost too bad I just recently picked up a Vader. Otherwise, I would have looked at that one. I think the guy only wanted like $30 for it, and it actually had his lightsaber. Unfortunately, couldn't find the stickers I was looking for. I was looking for the like a red Autobot sticker around that size in order to do a custom instrument that I'm working on. But yeah, I think these are supposed to be just like the original Playmates. Those. Ed 209. The RoboCop stuff is just cool. And that's the newer version from the newer Ghostbusters movie. I thought those were really neat. The ghostly looking original 4. I thought those were really cool. I don't know if this was some special order thing or if they were actually out in the stores where they had a chase piece or something. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you happen to see this. There's some other goodies. I've always liked that version of War Machine. Early comic War Machine. Dark Knight Build-A-Figure sets. This, I don't know why this Batman just made me laugh. I think maybe that was the purpose. I don't know. When they do them up in the Joker colors, I just think it's crazy, just crazy. Quite the interesting pop there. Hungry Big Mom from the One Piece game franchise. There's a little bit of something for everyone at the show, I gotta say. Gotta dig Kirby though. That's why I took a look at that shirt. Gotta dig Kirby. I don't know if these ladies make all of this stuff or if it's something they pick up from specialty shops or something like that. But that machine there in the corner, they were, you ask them for, you get change and you can get like bubble baubles out of them. Here's another regular fella here. He's always just got a little bit of everything. Got trolls. He's got, a lot of stuff that was, on the peg back in the day, but got a few army builder type things in there. A lot of snow troopers in there. This guy does deal a lot of Star Wars though. He's always got a lot of Star Wars, especially in those lower bins. Not really a whole lot of loose stuff. Most of it's all on the card. He's reasonable. He's reasonable, and he'll deal with you. Talk to this guy quite often actually when at the toy shows, but that's what he does. So I thought that was a cool set. Still think it should have come with R2D2 too, but because that was kind of a thing. Almost picked that up. Almost grabbed that because that's a kind of a nostalgia piece for me. I almost wish I would have grabbed that. Probably could have got him to come down a couple of bucks, but yeah. This guy's got a little bit of everything though. Like I said, his prices aren't bad, reasonable. He will deal with you. And there's the ever so common problem with those early A-wing designs, even though it was more the power of the Force design there. There's something about the mechanisms inside of there. You jack with one of those back landing gear and it gets switched up and jumps on the other side of the track in there, and it doesn't fold up right, and you can't snap it back into place without breaking the mechanism in there, so you got to tear it apart in order to fix it. There's some good old McFarlane Batmobile. That's actually a really well done piece. 6 Inches got one of those. It's actually really well done. It's an excellent rendition of it. I thought this was a cool set too. Really cool set. We got some G.I. Joe. Craven the Hunter. It's a really cool figure. I can't believe that jerk's worth $50. I've always thought J. Jonah Jameson was a jerk, but what do we got here? Running into more and more of the Batman. A lot of the gold label stuff. Not seeing wasn't seeing a ton of the regular box stuff. A lot of they're showing off a lot of the gold label. I don't know if that's a thing everybody's looking for or what, but I did wind up picking that up. I didn't think that was a bad price for that. I was seeing those on the card for $30 and $35, but I don't know. I picked up that archive one, which is exactly the same figure. It's just got a different cloth good on it, which I think is a better looking cloth good because it just looks older and beat up. But yeah, I wound up eventually picking up that Tusken Raider later on in the show. I didn't think $15 was bad. A lot of loose wrestlers here. I think those cases are cool. I forget what the guy said he got them. I think he said Walmart. Wrestlers, $3 each. It's actually pretty common. You see that a lot around this show. There's tons of wrestling figures. That Alf lunchbox that made me laugh. I thought that was really cool. I remember that show. I used to think it was funny. It's amazing how high some of these troopers are getting lately. I guess people are getting back into really army building and things because prices they just keep going up on them. I saw several of those carded Boba Fett's for the Return of the Jedi. I almost picked one of those up too. Or Empire Strikes Back, not Return of the Jedi. There was another one. I didn't think it was probably about as good a shape as the other one I looked at. If I remember right, the guy wanted like $5 more for it. Probably could have. I've dealt with that guy before. He probably would have worked with me, but I just thought it was a little much. Lots and lots of pops. Honky tonk man. I think those wrestling rings are really fun. And here's some of the newer Ultimates. More wrestling. There's that Azrael again. I almost pulled the trigger on this guy too, but I think he just wanted a little too much for him. Just a little bit much, I think. Shirts are becoming a thing at this particular con nowadays.
There's the man. How you doing?
There's Scalpor. Popped in to do some shopping with me. More pops. Pops, 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 pops. Alright, working our way down some of the center aisles here. Let me get past these young fellers. And more pops. Some rare, not so rare. Nerds, the grape nerds. Or the grape and strawberry nerds there. There's a great deal of that stuff back there I have never seen before. Never seen before. There was a Hulk up there. I forgot to tell Scalpor about. He probably already got it though. Knowing him, he's a Hulk nut. Lots and lots of games. Get back there into some Pokemon. These guys deal with a lot of Pokemon cards and a lot of other card games and stuff. And they just these guys bring around just some of the most obscure stuff. Some of the more common stuff too, but they've always got something pretty interesting on their table though. From Broke Robot, if you ever get a chance to check them out, they have a website. I'll see if I can put something in the description below. I really don't know what it is with those Trooper figures, boy. They're really climbing in price lately. Really climbing. I'm seeing some of them, the stuff that was more common a year ago. I mean, for anywhere from $10 to $20, $25 more than they were 6 months ago. It was just, I don't know, it's throwing me off. Which really sucks because I collect the troopers, the stormtroopers and stuff. But, you know, it's the market. I'm sure they'll bounce up and down. This guy just had a bunch of Build-A-Figures up on top of this thing here. This shelf up here. And so tempted with that Hulkbuster armor. I got rid of mine some time ago. I really wish I would have never have. That's actually one of my favorite Legend figures ever. I thought about trying to hunt the parts down to rebuild them, but it might actually just be easier to get like do some trades and stuff and get the Hulkbuster Legends set that's out there now. Some more loose stuff. I must have been babbling with him or something there.
If you want him, you put glue in there and you make him whole again. Okay. Yeah, but now he's in good shape.
Oh, I got a serious kick out of this. Talk about like some off the wall. I mean, looks nothing like Conan, for crying out loud. And it's Conan the Adventurer. It's not the Barbarian, it's the Adventurer. Scalpor was kind of staring at that reaction Skeletor there with the Panther. There's a rat trap without a head. There's another one of those prototype series that Stormtrooper was pretty neat. I think one of these days I'm probably going to pick one of those up. If I ever see one at a decent price, grab it. That stuffed Joker there was making me giggle. Troll baby. A bunch of Seeker bodies. I want to say that's Robotech. Or not Robotech, Mech Warrior. I remember there was a toy line briefly for the Mech Warrior stuff. Scalpor again. This guy has got. It must take him forever to pack up and set up when he comes to the show, because that wall back there is constantly laden with pops. I mean, it's nothing but pops. I looked at the table, I think, but that wall back there is just from floor to ceiling in the back there. And then there's some stuff sitting up on a table that's probably about as high. And I bet you that wall of pops back there was the same height as that guy. It was He probably has a lot of fun packing up the end of the day. This guy I know has a lot of fun packing up the end of the day because he's got 2 or 3 tables right there in the front. And he is absolutely packed with in-box stuff from Guy McFarlane, DC Direct, the wrestling figures. That back wall of his is just constantly. It's hard to look for stuff. There's just so much there. The stuffed animals are a new thing. I don't remember the plushies the last time I saw this guy, but it's been 3 or 4 shows since I've been out there, and I think ToyCon holds anywhere from 8 to 10 shows a year. I think they do a couple of weekends where they do a night show on Saturday night, the day show on Sunday at 8 in the morning.
No wonder you can work good. This is beautiful. It looks like a freaking store.
But this guy always has so much stuff. So much stuff.
So here's the villain so far.
Yes. Wow. Awesome. So I do need that absorb. So there's some villains that they didn't make yet. You got the two-tone. Did you get Mr. Fix-It?
I was trying to find the mechanism to move the mouth. I was going to make it say something stupid, but alas, I was foiled. This guy had a bunch of Matchbox cars that I'd never seen in those particular boxes before, but I can't say that I'm always hunting for Matchbox cars or really I'm into Hot Wheels or anything like that, but I thought there was some really cool stuff there. That purple Beetle with the red line. I forgot that they redid a whole bunch of that line with an homage to the original card back, and some of them came with a pin. I think some of them came with like a magnet or something. I had that car when I was a kid. I thought that was really cool. That exact car with the Aquafresh on the side. I was really huge into Indy racing back then. I was a kid. I thought those were neat cars. Just kind of like, I don't know, they look like 4-wheel drive 55 Chevys or something. I don't know if they're made for a specific line or not. Not sure what the point is behind the plastic wrap. Just don't know. Maybe just trying to protect the boxes or something. Just kind of caught me off guard. Wasn't sure what I was looking at. Looks like a whole bunch of Reaction Super 7 stuff. Some McDonald's plushies from days of old. Days of old. There's a couple of Skeletors that I thought Scalpor would be interested in, but not sure if he picked one of them up or not. I think he said he didn't have one of them. Yeah, there's a couple of guys in here too that carry a lot of really cool horror stuff, like old werewolf or that Reagan doll was actually really creepy. I thought that was interesting. I didn't even know there was a toy line for the Battlestar Galactica of the new show. I didn't know even know there was a toy line for that. I was into the original show back in 78, 79. Cool Rambo figure. The face sculpt was a little weird, I thought, but it was the rest of the figure I thought was pretty well done. More wrestling stuff. Oh yeah, I decided to play around with the Kane box. Look, I'm Kane. There's a Momo figure back there. Not sure what those were. That blue figure I thought looked really cool. There's a big old arc transformer back there. I wound up picking that guy up because it's a newer figure, but he was complete, and he would have come out of the box anyway, and he was a hell of a lot less than he would have been off the shelf, so I snagged him. Eventually came back and picked him up a little later. Scott Pilgrim on the Switch. That game's a blast. I mean, it's really fun to pick up and play for 20 minutes or half an hour, but man, it's one hell of a... It can get tough towards the end, too. It's one hell of a really cool beat 'em up, though. That Harley Quinn's I thought that was an interesting figure. It was pretty well done. These guys also had some pretty cool, some pretty good video game selection here. Super Mario Sunshine, Beautiful Joe, that game's awesome. Fatal Frame for PlayStation, not hard to get, or not easy to get. Shadowheart, you ever get a chance to play that one, check it out. Legend of Dragoon, one of the better PlayStation games. Parasite Eve, oh my god, that you get towards the end of that game is a real bitch. Vagrant Story, if you're into tactical RPGs, that's a great one. Power Stone and Power Stone 2, I don't care what you gotta spend, I recommend them. Hugely recommend them. Silent Hill. There was a lot of good games in that rack. I'm a Super Nintendo collector as well. Super Nintendo and Genesis. There was some good stuff in there. I really wish I'd have had a little more cash on me, but getting a little froggy here. Some interesting Nintendo titles I hadn't seen in a while either. They were fairly uncommon. That's the Scout Walker I was looking for. That big one in the back there, but just a little bit out of my price range. Some more Pops. Donald Duck. The black and white Mickeys. Not exactly sure what those were. Let's say they're like bubble. They were like bubble soaps or whatever for blowing bubbles. Yeah, that's what they were. Interesting puppet master figures I'd never seen before. This is Ozzy Osbourne. Really threw me for a loop. I mean, it looks nothing like him. Nothing like him at all. Nice row of some fairly rare Pops. This, I guess, was a whole set of the Green Lantern, Blackest Night DC Direct figures. I'm really looking back on some of that DC Direct stuff from a few years back, and some of it was really... It wasn't, the most ultimately articulated or anything like that, but some of the sculpts and stuff were just... I mean, they were just really off the wall. Some of them were great, though. A whole bunch of Star Wars figures there. That, trying to make some adjustments on the camera there. For some reason, it kept flipping around on me. I couldn't figure out why. All right, back into it. There's a prototype Luke back there. Oh my God. Needed that guy. Never saw him before. And then if I remember, the guy told me $45, and I had to put it back. I don't know what it is with those troopers, man. They just keep going up. It's crazy. They just keep going up. I'll find one loose somewhere sometime. That Injustice Batman's really cool. Some more reaction stuff. And here we are at the end of this guy's booth. As a matter of fact, this is the guy that we saw earlier with the really huge booth that had 3 or 4 tables going in the back, 3 or 4 tables in the front. And this was interesting. I'd never seen one of these before. I had no idea there was a Spawn mobile. No idea. The chains hanging off the back. I thought it was kind of interesting. It looks like it was missing a windshield or something like that. Had a blower on it. It just made me laugh. There's a Batmobile. There's the second run of that Ecto 1. I picked up the original one in the box. It was transformed into the vehicle mode. Alright, now we're heading into the back of the building. Got a little bit of refreshment there for people who are hanging around all day trying to make decisions and stuff. This guy had some really good stuff, boy. I was at his booth staring at things for a while. Got all the Super 7 Thundercats figures. A lot of people beat them down. I think they're really well done. I think they look good. See, there's the figure I eventually picked up for I think $15 less, with what I think is the better looking rags on him and the archive model. Moving on down to 3 3/4. He's got a loose bucket, a little bit of everything in there. I don't know what that figure is in the back there on top, but it kind of reminded us of a, I don't know, something He-Man, but I don't know what it came from or where it came from. Some Revenge of the Sith troopers. Some Emperor's Personal Guard troopers. Some flame troopers. I think there's no, not flame. I forget what that one is. Some of the newer movie troops are just not. They're not my thing. They're okay, but Micronaut Pharoids right there. Those 3, the red, the blue. I had the blue and the silver one when I was a kid. Oh, I didn't see that. The Micronaut monster there. I forget his name. But yeah, all of those Pharoids were complete and in really, really good condition. Don't know much about what they're going for lately though, so I don't know if what he was asking for him was fair or not. I didn't bother really looking, but I'm trying to keep from starting another line to collect. But no, all of them. I eventually went back and looked at them off camera and looked at all of them off camera, and they were all in excellent shape. They were almost all in perfect condition. The joints were still really tight on them. All the chambers closed up perfect. It was one of them. I think might have been a Palisades one, but I wasn't quite sure. The plastic on it looked a little too shiny and like rounded corners from an old mold. So, but the other two were. They said Mego on the back of them. I did see that. Bunch of minifigures. Some newer stuff. 18-inch Link down there, or 16-inch Link. Those Nika gargoyles, I've been so tempted to start picking those up because they look so good. They really do. They just look so good. Some G.I. Joe. People still trying to get 30, 35 bucks out of those bats. And they're so common, it seems like. Everybody's got them. I still think that Stuart Selkirk is one of the better figures in that line. I always thought that European Tiger Force Outback was a good one. They always do a raffle here for 3 different kinds of usually three different lines. You know, one will be Star Wars, one will be DC, one will be something else, just obscure. This art was actually done by the guy that was sitting at this booth. And he had some other drawings and things up there. That Spider-Man back there I thought was really cool. I didn't ask him prices on a lot of this stuff. He just had a little bit of everything. Just a little bit of everything. It's almost like he was just coming out to get rid of his obscure stuff. But I thought that Spider-Man was really cool. That drawing back there. It's too bad that wasn't the original Luke and Stormtrooper outfit. I could have used that one. That mask poster back there. Tempted. Very tempted.
Shots for our podcast.
This Orko. Cash only. Yeah, but all those other pictures back there underneath that Spider-Man there, that Batman, that Orko, he drew that.
Yeah, especially with this media mod on it.
I think it's really cool when collectors come out and try to sell their art too.
Honestly, it's not perfectly worth it because most people hold these cover up the microphone. At least that's what I do anyway.
I forget what we were yammering on about, but all those He-Man parts, right? The He-Man pieces there. Those are all originally early to mid '80s pieces.
Actually, like operating off the mod, it gets really hot. Kind of burns things up real quick.
Andre, come by me, boss. There's a newer Sun Man from the 3-figure set. Bats everywhere. Never seen that shredder before. That must have been a. I thought this was. We went back to that guy in the front room there, and he picked this up off of somebody in Australia. I mean, of course, it's a bootleg. If you look really close, you can tell that head is a stormtrooper. I couldn't figure out what the rest of it was. He's only wanting like $25 for it. But I thought it was an interesting piece. All right, toy fans, I hope you guys enjoyed that trip around the ToyCon Toy Show in Bridgeview, Illinois. It's a great little show. I recommend it. If you want some more information on upcoming dates, or if you want to become a vendor, you can go to ToyConToyShow.com. I'll leave a link down in the description for those interested. Like I said, great show. It's got some great vendors. They've always got some great stuff there. And if you do get a chance to get there for the early bird, I highly recommend it. There's a few vendors in there that they bring their heavy hitters and they go quick. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for now. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.